In this video, we will cover the kind of feedback that you can allow your students to see once they have taken your quiz in Canvas. So in order to set up the options for feedback, we have to do it while we're creating the quiz or editing the quiz after we've created most of it, but of course before the students take the quiz. So let's edit this midterm right here by clicking the edit button on the top right corner. Once we do this, below the setting where we're setting up the time limit for the quiz, we have an option that says let students see their quiz responses. We can have this option unchecked, and that means that the students will literally see only their grade once they have submitted the quiz. They will not see the individual question grade. They will not see which question they got incorrect or correct. They will just see an overall score. So let's see what that looks like. And I'm going to go into student view and take this midterm. We're just going to quickly answer the questions. Now, once when the quiz is submitted by the student, this is all that they are seeing with all the options off. They are seeing that they have done one attempt, how long they took, what was the overall score. If there are any essay or file upload questions, it will tell them some questions are not yet graded. They will see that again as well on the bottom. They will also be told correct answers are hidden, but notice that they cannot even see a recap of their actual answers. They cannot see which questions they got wrong. They only see the overall score. This can work okay if you're going to do a midterm overview at a later date where you're actually giving them all the answers, but do keep in mind that with this setting like this, the students cannot even recollect what they answered. They cannot check what was their answer to each question at a later time. They cannot see that. So let's reset this student view and let's go over the other options that there are for the feedback to the students. So the first one we did is no feedback is provided other than the grade. If I check next to let students see their quiz responses and I check nothing else, what the students will be able to see is what they answered, which questions were incorrect, and how many points they got for each question. So let's see that option as well. So we're going to save, and then we're going to go again in the student view to check out the midterm in this new format. So again, so this time the students again are told which attempt this was, how long they took, and what their score was. But if we see below that, they are told that for question 1, they answered submarines and they got 5 points out of 5. Question 2 was incorrect, they got 0 points. Question 3 was incorrect, they got 0 points, but it doesn't tell them what the actual answer was for question 3. Question 4, they got correct, 5 out of 5. Question 5, they are told they got partial marks, 1 point out of 2. They are not told which of these were correct and which were incorrect. Same with this fill in multiple blanks question. They are told they got 5 out of 10. they get reminded what were their answers and told that they got partial grade. For the essay question, they get told it's not yet graded. So they can definitely see a lot more information while not being able to see for most question types what was the correct answer. Of course, true-false questions are the only exception, because for a true-false question, if this is incorrect, that means the true answer was the correct one. But if you're going to do a midterm review at a later date where you're telling them and explaining the answers to the questions, they can always, during that time, come back to the quiz and see a recap of what they answered so they can see where they went wrong. Again, we're going to reset the student view so that it forgets we took the midterm. And again, let's see what more could we be showing the students. So far with this option unchecked, let students see their quiz responses, they only saw the overall grade. With this one option checked and nothing else, they see what were their responses, how many points they got per question, and which questions they got partial or incorrect. However, we can also let the students see the correct answers. So once we check this, if we do not enter any dates, the students will see the correct answers immediately. However, we can choose to have the correct answers shown at a later date. So for example, you could have them take the quiz today and put the show correct answers a week later, so that instead of doing an in-class midterm review covering the questions, they just have to go a week later and go to the quiz and see their responses, what was correct, what was incorrect. And then you can choose to even close it after a day or two or a week. You can choose a date when the correct answers are hidden. Keep in mind, this, regardless of these dates, at the end of the quiz, they will see which questions they got wrong, which questions they got partial, how many points they got for each question. That will be shown to them immediately, but what won't show immediately with dates put in here is the actual correct answer. So what is the square root of 175? The correct answer will be shown at that date. If the student goes back to the quiz itself, they will see their attempt, what their answers were, and also the correct answers. So let's see if we do not put any dates so that you can see what the students will see in terms of correct answers, what feedback it will provide the students. So let's save this and again go to the student view to take this quiz. And notice between each quiz modification, I reset the student view so that it forgets that I took it, since they only have one attempt. So I'm going to click take the quiz. And again, we're going to answer. And once we submit the quiz, again, they see which attempt this was, how long they took, what is the overall score. Then when they go down to the questions, it shows question 1, 5 out of 5, says correct, and also lists all the all the different options of an answer I put in as acceptable answers. For the true false, it says you're correct, 5 out of 5. For question 3, this is the numerical question, we get 0 out of 5. It's incorrect, and it tells them right here that the correct answer was 13.2288 with an error margin of 0, or any number between 13.22 and 13.23. So it tells them what the correct answer is. For question 4, we set up feedback for question 4. So not only do they see that they got this incorrect, it shows them which one was correct, and also provides the feedback that I set up in the quiz for this question. So this feedback here only shows if I allow the system to show correct answers. Then they will give them the correct answer and whatever explanation I have added in as feedback. Again, question 5, they got 0 out of 2 points, and it shows them which answers they got, what were correct, what were incorrect. So incorrect is always in red. Fill in the blank. We get here, it says force, that's correct. Weight is not correct, that was their answer. The correct answer is mass. And of course, for essay, it says not yet graded. So that is the feedback they see when the correct answers are enabled. If you put a date, then it will show that after that date has passed where you've set up the where to show the correct answer. So again, we're going to go edit here. So we saw that with let students see their quiz responses turned off, they only see the overall grade at all times. With that option turned on, they can see which ones they got incorrect, how many points they got for each question, and what their answers were to each question. And then again, if we turn on let students see the correct answers, then they see also what was the correct answer, what was an acceptable answer, and also any feedback that we wrote into the questions. They will see that with the correct answers. And you can set dates here when to open up the correct answers and when to close them afterwards if you want them only temporarily open. So those are all the options that you have for providing your students feedback, automatic feedback for the quiz that you created in Canvas that they took.